Aerial cinematography can really elevate the way that you make films and capture your content. And it's given me the opportunity to get shots that I would not have been able to get without being able to have a camera that will fly. My first drone was a Phantom 3 Professional. It had a great image quality, and I flew that thing until it burned out on me, and now it doesn't work. However, the Phantom series drones are pretty large in size. And if you're like me, you're a run and gun filmmaker, you're on the move, and you don't want a lot of weight on your back, then I would suggest you look into a smaller drone such as the DJI MAVIC. The DJI MAVIC is a small drone that folds so you can be super compact and lightweight, and it doesn't break your back when you're going on these long expeditions or hiking or in the city and you don't want to have a huge bag. It's really good for that. So just look at the Phantom compared to the MAVIC. The size difference can't be understated. The Phantom is roughly twice the size of the MAVIC. The Phantom controller is about the size of the MAVIC even when the MAVIC is unfolded. So it's about the same size, the drone itself to the Phantom controller. And of course the DJI MAVIC's controller is going to be much smaller because it folds as well. Overall, I'd go with the MAVIC if I was you, but if you are on bigger sets, bigger productions, the Phantom series offers great image quality, so you might consider that as well. So this is a folding drone. A really important thing to have is a gimbal guard, so whenever it's in the bag, you don't have to worry about it being smashed or destroyed. That's really important. To unfold the drone, the arm comes out, the bottom ones come down. And the really nice thing about this too is that the propellers stay on at all times. So you don't have to sit there and twist them on and off as you're getting ready to fly. Another really good thing about the DJI MAVIC is the controller. It's a folding controller as well, so it packs down super small, super lightweight, and it's really easy to use. Another thing I recommend is getting one of these protectors for the sticks. That way, when it's in your bag again, the sticks aren't damaged whenever they're moving around in your bag. So these arms come down like this, put the antennas up, and your phone just goes right in there, push it in, and it's snug and it's ready to go. So when you fly a drone for the first time, you want to come to a wide open space where there's no trees, no power lines overhead. And right here we have this whole field to fly in, so we don't have to worry too much about crashing. So here we have our setup right here. What you want to do is turn on the controller first, and you basically hold the power button once, you hold it twice, you hear that sound and you know it's on. Turning on the drone is the same way. You press it once, lights come on, press it twice. That's the sound that you know your drone is on. Right now this grass is a little too high. You want to take off and land where the drone has room to take off and it won't get in the way of the propellers or the gimbal. So right now we're going to show you how to take off and land on a solid surface. Again, arm out, arm down, arm down. Drone on. Controller out, antennas. Get your phone. I recommend an iPhone. The DJI software works better on iPhone. It's just the way it is. I use an iPhone cable. The cables that came with the drone, they don't work. The drone would disconnect a lot from the controller and I didn't know what was going on, and the first thing I checked was the cable, and the cable doesn't work. So now I use iPhone cables to connect. So now the drone's on, we're connected, and we're ready to go. This is really good ground to take off on. We have a lot of room here. We do have some fences, but it's not that big of a deal for what we're going to be doing right now. So let's take off. So to take off, all you have to do is take these two controllers, push them down and towards each other, and it'll start spinning. But to get the drone to take off, all you do is just hold this one up. And it's taken off. An even easier way to take off is just using the software in the app, to where you don't even have to use these sticks at all. So watch this. All you have to do is push this button You'll get a little notification saying, are you sure you want to take off? All you do is slide. There it goes. So to land the drone, all you need to do is just press this left stick down and it'll do everything else. You keep holding it down and it's off, and that's it. Super easy. The DJI Mavic is touch to focus. Basically, you just take your finger, point on wherever you want to focus on, and that'll change your focus. So the drone is in the air now. These are your main control sticks. This stick allows you to go up, down, left and right will spin the drone, like this. This right stick is basically your forward, backward, left and right. So forward, backwards, left and right. You have to remember, whichever way the camera is pointing, that is always going to be up on the sticks. So right now the camera is pointing forward towards us, but you're moving it this way, but it's moving this way. So you have to think, which way is the camera facing? That's the way, turn it here, that's the way that forward's going to go. So it does make a bit of noise when it takes off. It can be seen as almost intrusive in a way, but a big part about flying your drone is you're going to have to get comfortable being around that noise and just being comfortable flying. And it has front-facing sensors, so it knows before it'll crash into something. So watch this. Hear that? I'm holding the stick down, but it will not go any further. So you know if you're flying forward, this is a really nice feature. Let me back it up. It's a nice feature to ensure that you won't crash. So if you're first starting out, try to fly the drone forward in all your shots. That way you know you're not going to crash into anything. This is your record button. And this is your how you take pictures. This wheel right here controls the camera's gimbal. Moving the wheel left will raise the camera's gimbal. Moving the wheel right will lower the camera down. Turning the right wheel to the left will darken your exposure by changing your shutter speed. Turning this wheel to the right will lighten your exposure. So one thing to think about whenever you buy your first drone is you're going to want to accessorize, and the first thing you're going to want is an extra battery. So an extra battery is going to be super essential because you only get about 18 to 20 minutes of flight time per battery. So when you're in a cool location, you want to get as much variety of shots as you can get. An extra battery is going to allow you to get more shots. So now I'm going to go over 5 go-to shots that I use in my aerial cinematography all the time. The first shot I think you should try is just the straightforward shot. Make sure nothing's in front of you, and all you do is hold the right stick forward and fly the drone forward. The second shot I think you should try is flying straight up with the camera pointing straight down. For this, all you have to do is fly over your subject, point the camera straight down, and make sure nothing is above you, and just use the left stick, push it forward, and the drone will fly straight in the air. The third shot I think you should try is the moving forward shot while tilting the camera up. So for this, start with the camera facing down, start flying forward, and slowly raising the gimbal to reveal the horizon. The fourth shot I'm going to recommend is actually one of my favorite shots. You have to maneuver both sticks simultaneously, so it does take a little bit more concentration. The idea is that the camera is facing your subject and you fly backwards and up at the same time. And the fifth shot that I'm gonna recommend that you try, this is the most complicated one. Basically what you do is circle around a subject. Now this shot is known as point of interest, but aren't all subjects points of interest? You move both sticks away from each other or towards each other, depending on which direction you're circling the point of interest. The DJI Mavic uses global satellite positioning, also known as GPS, to hold its location, so it doesn't really move around very much, which is really nice for obvious reasons. You can use a feature within the app to check your GPS coordinates. If you press the map in the bottom left corner of the app, you can zoom in and out, which will show your exact position on a Google Map kind of software. And let's say, hey, my drone is far off and I'm kind of freaking out. I don't know which way it's facing. You know, am I flying forward? Am I flying backward, left? Or am I flying right? I don't know. It happens. Within the map feature, the red paper airplane is your drone, and whichever way it is pointing, where the green is coming out, that is the way that your drone is facing, and you are the blue dot. So if the drone is far out and you want to fly it back to where you are, point the paper airplane towards the blue dot and move the right stick forward. There is a button on the controller. The drone will literally fly itself back to where you took off. You could literally set down the controller and the drone will do the rest. So right now, the drone is far out and I'm gonna bring it home by just using the home point button on the controller. So all I have to do is press this button right here. Once you hear that sound, it's flying home. I'm gonna set the controller down. I don't have to touch a thing and the drone will land from where it took off. You can always cancel the return to home feature by pressing the red X on the left side of the screen. Here it comes. There it is. Controller is on the ground. There you have it. A drone shot can be a really great way to grab someone's attention or show off a neat location, but you don't want to overuse it. A drone is just another tool in your kit and should be treated as such. If you're worried about pricing and don't want to spend all that cash on something that you might crash, ask someone that you know that has a drone if you can watch them fly, or even if you can fly their drone under their supervision. So that's it for today's video. I'll be making more instructional videos about drones soon to go more in depth about my post-processing, intelligent flight modes, and more tips and tricks that you can use in aerial cinematography. And something I should mention, make sure you're following all the local laws and guidelines to wherever you're going to be flying. And as always, thanks for watching this video. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Feedback is much appreciated. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to this channel to see more videos like this to come soon. I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you soon.